Hello and welcome. I'm Dr. Tina Ray. I'm an educational and child psychologist. And today I'm going to be talking about the focus that we all need to have on keeping our bodies healthy so that we can also keep our minds healthy. This is the 16th in my sessions for teens and tweens. There are 20 sessions in total, and today's focus is on healthy body, healthy mind. I hope it's helpful to you. There's a key fact that I want to make clear right at the start of the presentation. We know, scientists, psychologists, anyone in the educational world will know that our bodies and our minds are connected. If we look after our bodies, we will feel better about ourselves, we'll produce more of those feel-good chemicals, those endorphins and happy chemicals in our brains that make us feel better every day, that make us feel a level of contentment and happiness that all of us want to experience more regularly. It's a fact, a key fact, that being active makes us happier and instantly improves our mood. And it can even lift us out of a depression. So sometimes when people have had a diagnosis of depression, very often they may be given some medication, but they will be very often encouraged to go outside in the fresh air, in nature, and take regular daily exercise, because we know how much better they feel for this and the difference it makes in terms of producing those feel-good chemicals. What can we do? We don't all need to be a brilliant sports person, that's for sure. Okay, so we don't need to be a marathon runner or someone who is just at the top of their game in terms of the football pitch or whatever. What we can do are very simple things just to make ourselves be more active every single day. We can be more active and instantly do so by taking a break from our phones, our computers, our desks. We can also get enough sleep, and I've talked about sleep before in this series, and get ourselves outside and be in nature. Keep on moving. Key mantra that I find myself saying to myself because I'm very often in front of a computer, sadly. I think it's about finding out what exercise suits you. I'm really fond of walking. I like hill climbing, but I just go out for a walk every single day. I make sure I do that first thing in the morning. But you have to find out what suits you. I've said this all the way through this series of teens and tweens sessions. It's really, really important. It's what fits for you, what you feel comfortable with, what makes a difference to you, what you enjoy. Okay, so it could be dancing, gym, football, rugby, whatever it is. Then you need to work out a weekly timetable so that you factor this into your schedule every day, something that you can do that's physical to keep you moving. But think about things you really enjoy, okay? It's supposed to be fun, this stuff. It's not supposed to be a punishment. So when people say to me, oh, I hate going to the gym, I hate doing this jogging, I think, well, why do you do it? Why don't you find what would really make you feel good that's still exercise and it's fun? And that could be dancing. It could be walking just gently. It could be walking your dog. It makes you feel happy. It makes you feel better. That's the most important thing. Sports aren't for everybody. You may be just happier taking that walk in a park with your friend. But work out your daily menu. And I'm just going to give you some very simple ideas now of things that you might want to consider in order to keep a balance between what we call moderate and more vigorous activity. So moderate activity, you could do 60 minutes of this a day up to, you might want to do 30, it's down to you. Again, it's what suits you. You could have a bike ride, walk your dog, play frisbee in the park, it's fun. Do some martial arts, but 60 minutes, you might want to think about factoring that in. Vigorous intensity activity, this is at a higher level. You could do maybe 3 days a week. So that could be running, could be rollerblading, could be swimming, playing a sport such as gymnastics, football, tennis, or body resistance exercises such as sit-ups and push-ups, that kind of thing. Okay, so more vigorous intensity activity. It's about maybe getting a balance between those two. There are basically, in my view, two keys to keeping fit, and this is not about dieting, purging, being very, very conscious of your body image. This is solely about keeping your body feeling good, feeling fit, because that will have a very positive impact on the way that your mind works and how fit you feel mentally. So the first key is this: to avoid spending long periods sitting down without moving. It's really, really important. You might do an hour, but then you need to stand up and do something. Try to reduce the time you spend using computers, watching the telly or YouTube, and take regular breaks from your studies. It's okay to do that. It actually helps you to be more alert when you come back to your studies. Key two, and this is really, really important, this notion of a balanced diet. And I'm not talking about diet as in we purge ourselves or starve ourselves. That's unhealthy. If we're eating healthily and we're getting enough exercise, we don't need to diet. That's absolutely essential to remember, okay? You need to be sure to have 5 portions of fruit and vegetables each day. And remember that a portion means the amount of food that you can fit in one hand. So like a handful of raisins, a handful of chopped apple, a handful of bananas. I think that's really important. 5 a day. In addition to this, you need to ensure that you have portions of other food groups like carbohydrates, water, fiber, minerals, and fats. And it's important that you get the right amount of each food and avoid too much sugar and salt. It's a balanced diet. This is what helps us to stay fit, both physically and mentally. And if you're not sure about what your diet looks like and if it is healthy, you could always go and talk again to a trusted adult about this and talk through what you're eating and how you're eating and when you're eating. And maybe think about how you might be able to make that a more balanced diet. There may be some adjustments that you can make, and talk to your parents, your carers, whoever's looking after you about that. It'd be really nice now if you consider doing this orange segments activity. And I find this quite useful when I work with children and young people, just to get them to really think about what they do now at this moment in time in order to stay physically healthy. So you can draw an outline of an orange and construct 10 segments within that circle, okay? And in 5 of those segments, I want you to write down one thing that you do now to stay healthy, whether that's running, walking your dog, playing football, rollerblading, and then use a different coloured pen to then record 5 things in the remaining segments that you'd like to do, things that you haven't tried out yet in terms of physical activity that you think, yeah, I'd like to have a go at that. And these are going to be additional things that could keep you physically and mentally healthy, but things that you're not doing at this moment in time. So get a wee bit creative here and have a good think about this and discuss it with friends. They may be doing things that you've never thought of and you think, actually, I'd love to have a go at that. Keep talking is crucial here. Talk about this with friends, with family, and see who can support you in keeping healthy. The focus on physical fitness is just as important as our focus on mental fitness. It's really, really vital. We know we can improve our chances of managing everyday stress and worries if we look after both our physical and our mental health. So please stop to pause and discuss it with someone you trust. Again, it's going to be what works for you. Most things are person specific. There are lots of things that we all like doing, but when it comes to things like physical exercise, managing stress, anxiety, basically, we have to find our own path here. So you need to find out what your program needs to look like and include in order to keep you fit and healthy, both physically and emotionally. So just think about what you're doing now, what you might need to do more of in the future. And I hope that you really do use the orange segments activity. So thanks once again for listening. And I hope this was useful. And I hope you'll join me for the following session 17.